let me change your this idea of Lagos a mega city. Who brought the idea of mega city? It was Fasola. And Fasola said he want to build a mega city. And a mega city is not built in a day. A mega city is not built even in 10 years, 20 years, depending on resources that is available and how serious is the leader. So if you want to call Lagos State mega city, well, according to your own content, if you want to call it, but to me, the idea of mega city has not been achieved. It's a project that is still ongoing. Now, let's generalize it based on Nigeria generally. It's very, very unfortunate. It is here in Nigeria that every home run their government. We are government on our own. If you pack to a new site everywhere in Nigeria now, especially Lagos State, Ogun State, where new sites are being flourished, you will be in your particular area, you will be the one that will be the government of yourself. Do you know that after we have federal government, we have state government, we have local government, another government that is reigning now is LCDA. Do you understand? LCDA, people in a particular community gather themselves, do meeting, they will have to contribute. So in a nutshell, when you are in your home, you are government on your own, because you are going to provide light by yourself. If you don't have generator, you cannot generate light. Nobody generate light for you. You have to look for water by yourself. So many things that government needs to provide, you have to look for it by yourself. It's very, very unfortunate. So it is the each home that are creating another government under government in this country. Go to, if you pack to your new site now, you will be the one, is community that will buy pole, you buy transformer, all the things that government is supposed to provide for us. It's very, very unfortunate. So now let's come to this matter of breakout of cholera. You see, this Lagos State, I will tell you, if I not want to be biased, to some extent, government policy has made people change. I will tell you categorically, before the coming of a democracy, before I came to Lagos State, I usually think Lagos State is a hellfire, because my brother will say, as I was going, I just saw dead body, a whole full dead body on the road, and nobody pack it, and nobody bother. That was Lagos State for you before. When I first came to Lagos State in 2007, K2, I used to hawk comic. If you go to K2 area, you see where people are selling food. You will see that some people sell food on top of this gutter. You will see tap code ata. They'll be doing like this, and people will come there to buy amala. That is Lagos State for you. You see people building houses on the slump. You will see the nylon, the dirty nylon. If not of recent, before, like maybe 2 or 3 years, at this junction, you see huge heap of refuse. So for this kind of thing not to be happen, it's not only the function of government, it has to be function of both the citizen and the government. Even if a particular government is started to do something that that want to make some ashish law to make sure that people stay in a clean environment, they will be criticizing him. Do you know that we are observing this thing once in a month? Before the first Saturday of the month, people don't go out. Yes, everybody stay indoor, clean your environment. What happened? We say no, we don't want it. How can you be locking us indoor for almost that year? And what happened now? People have forgotten it. If not that government has make sure that refuse are not dumping on the street like this before now. Even like 2-3 years, you see, have you just been in Lagos? Look at that junction. That is a home to the huge of dump refuse. Who put it there? Is it government? It's not government. It's me and you. It's me and you. And where does this thing come from? It's not only in water. It's about what you put into the mouth. So for this kind of a thing not to happen, it's take the effort of government and the citizen together. So this is not matter of a blame game. This is a matter of everybody to sit down to his own responsibility. My advice to the government is that they should come out now. They should lay more emphasis on people to stay clean in their environment. Watch your hand before you hit. Even if you leave a plate, eh? If you leave a plate, don't say, I just use this plate. You still want to reuse it. You are playing with cholera. So those are the kind of orientation. So government should play their role, and citizens should also play their role, so that there will be no, there's outbreak now. I don't pray for epidemic. It has not become an epidemic, and I pray it will not become an epidemic. You're welcome.
It reminds me of how the issue of COVID-19, how Nigerian government were able to rally around, and was able to do a thorough check on the excesses as at that time, from spreading to Nigeria. And of course, they were able to curtail it. A cholera outbreak, we have been hearing about it. We understand that it was very real in the northern part of the country as at that time, but the recent development, coming to a metropolitan city like this, like Lagos, is a source of concern, because I know that cholera, to an extent, is quite infectious, and the government need to do something, not just doing something, look at those things, that causes, or bring about the issue of cholera. One, we might not be able to distance ourselves, no matter how we're able to check it, because the environment where we find ourselves does not, guarantee a kind of means whereby it can be avoided, or it can be checkmated thoroughly, but you can see the environment we find ourselves here, where people does not, the majority of the masses of Lagos State, or even, let us take it beyond that, Nigeria does not have access to good water, and water is one of the major source of contacting cholera. A dirty environment also can also ignite the spread at the end of the day. So those of us who are somewhere in the suburb, not really an urban area, are posed to the danger of contacting cholera. I think, to an extent, government should be able to know how best, to curtail it from spreading, and there should be also a major campaign, jingles, to the public currently now, using media channels, to spread and be able to analyze how people can also, avoid contacting it, and when you contact it, what do you need to do at that particular time? Do you have any source of have receiving medical attention as at that point? Where are the outlets people need to go and seek attention, medical attention, if they suspect they have been infected with cholera, or they have contacted cholera. These are the things government should do, and take it very seriously, to push jingles in that regard, to all the media outlets across the 36 states of the federation, so that people will begin to understand, people will begin to be aware, so that by so doing they will be able, to cut it, from spreading the way it is going now. As I'm talking to you now, the development report we are getting from Lagos is not too palatable. People are dying mysteriously as a result of the infection related to cholera, and the environment too. That's what we are saying. At least at some point, we should start experiencing good and neat atmosphere, where Nigerians can be able to leverage on that and maintain, a neat environment. Not too many places in Lagos here are inhabitable, so to say, because of a lack of infrastructure. The infrastructure, I mean, is a lot of good hygiene. Most of the houses they build here in Lagos does not even have toilet. Most of the people, defecate on open places. These are the some of the things that government need to check, and begin to see how they can, be able to create more of such infrastructure to reduce the spread, of diseases, among Nigerians or among Lagosians, especially the children who are growing up or who are coming up. Most those ones are in primary and secondary school. You understand? There should be adequate facility, for recreation. There should be adequate facility for convenience, and there should be adequate facility, for people to have access to good water, good toilet system, and all the rest. But we are not seeing that happening, recently, and that is why at every slightest outbreak, you see people, being infected, at a very high speed, and that does not augur well for us. How functional, is it? If you look at the issue of water corporation, people are not only depending on government support. I doubt if it is actually functioning, because people are digging boreholes, in their respective houses. Once they build, they dug borehole. But majority, let's say 90% of Lagosians, for instance, does not have access to water, because most of them are extremely poor, that they cannot be able to afford digging borehole within their environment. So it poses another threat of continuous spreading of infectious diseases like the cholera we are talking about today. For a while now, I've never heard anything about Lagos State Water Corporation or seen water corporation functional as it were before. So what people normally do is that those that have the resources, once they're able to get a plan, a place to erect a structure's house, they make sure that they have borehole. But majority of Nigerians, of Lagosians, does not have access. Majority of them are still living in face me and face you. You can imagine in a room, you have up to 10, 15 people in a room. Then how do you intend to do that, because of the high cost of renting apartment in Lagos is threatening. So at this point, and if you look at the way and manner houses are being built, government are not doing much, in terms of the plan, in the location, and the rest. Making sure that if you are going to build a house, they should be able to that house should be able to have a good toilet system, a good recreation, a good environment, that will ease the issue of spreading of infectious diseases like cholera. And secondly, the issue of waste management is also very important at this point in time, because those are the areas of which diseases can also be contacted or spread at the end of the day. I think government should be able to do that, through landlords, through street ballers or chiefs, or those who has that mandate, to take care of supervise or take care of their community or environment. Government should liaise with them and be able to understand that there's need for us to have a proper waste management system. Then most of the environment where Nigerians, especially the kids, have their day at the end of the day is not something to write home about. These are something we are saying that government should be able to look at those things, and begin to open up. There is no space. People that we should be having a kind of space. I think government begin to understand that they need to create space in terms of road. They need to create space for recreation. They need to create environment where people can easily walk to a place as neat as and have themselves eased at the end of the day without being a threat to one another. For me, I think that to an extent, if you go to some of the government facilities where they have conveniences, my brother, you can hardly ease yourself there, because it is one unkept. There's no space there. You can imagine where 10 people are struggling to use, or 20 people are struggling to use one toilet system or one bath, at the same time. It is not something we should be at this level of civilization be talking about. So it's a norm already. There's a lot of parastatals, that are no longer relevant. But because of one thing or the other, the government choose to still allow them, to function either by omission or commission. They have not really looked into the functionality of those things. for me, corporation in Lagos, I don't know how significant it is now. I don't know their functions. I don't even know whether they are actually very effective. I doubt, because Nigerians are becoming too private. Nigerians are becoming too independent. Nigerians are losing, understanding that on how to put pressure on government, to provide to those basic amenities, which is the responsibility of the government. Even to an extent, like the environment we find ourselves here now, where can you see a government facility around here now that is well spacious, well built, that people can easily walk in, and ease themselves, even though you are not in that environment, and be able to employ enough people around that can take care of that facility. How much are they going to pay them? But what you see there, you see a dilapidated room, very dirty and unclean, and they say the local government or the state government is local government or state government facility where people can go and take care of their inconveniences. You understand? And when you get in there, you are being asked to pay for it. So in Nigeria, when you talk about Nigeria issue, I keep on asking, what is it actually that the citizens are benefiting from being a citizen of Nigeria, or being part of this country called Nigeria? So it's a threatening moment for the citizens every time. You take water, you pay. You move on the road, you pay. You everything about, they take it from you. Nigerians can never boast for one thing. They are benefiting directly, as citizens of this country. Bros, I've never seen, I've never come across it. Just imagine, maybe you find yourself somewhere now in Ikeja or in the island, and you are pressed and you don't know who to talk to. You cannot be able to access any facility in that regard that can ease your convenience. You understand? Or any restroom or any government facility that can take care of that inconveniences as at that time without paying, or more or less, even though you are paying, when you get to that point, you find it very uncomfortable, to ease yourself in that environment. And they call it government facility. So that tells you that, maybe government should look for a way, to partner with private firms, in that regard, so that those kind of facilities can easily be accessible by citizens, even paying, even without making any payment in that regard, because this is something that has to do with nature.